Hi guys, and welcome back to Twisted Dice. I'm Aceface and I'm here to bring you another video. Again, we're going to delve down in the depths of the Tyranid army. That's going to be our focus for today, and particularly what we're going to do is we're going to look at what I think of the initial news of 9th edition, what it's going to do to our army, how it's going to affect whether it's going to be good, bad, initial thoughts. I'm going to caveat by saying this is part one. I am doing this day after the first Q&A. Now I reckon there'll be lots more drip feed of information we'll get as we get closer to launch. So this may well change, but I just thought I would give you my hot thoughts on what I think Tyranids are going to be like and what I've seen so far, what excites me and what worries me. If you like this video and you like all the content from Twisted Dice, please could you just hit that subscribe button. Most people that watch our videos don't press that button. If you could just do that, it would really help us out loads as we try and get to 10,000 subscribers. And please hit that like button and let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think of the stuff that we've got so far and your thoughts on how your Tyranid army is going to, what it's going to be like when we get into 8th edition. So straight off the bat, I want to talk about the initial thoughts that we had from yesterday from hearing about our monsters. So in the initial preview, they talked about tanks not being able basically to be stopped from shooting just by being tapped, and it looks like very much monsters, our big gribblies, are going to get the same treatment. That's incredible for units like exocrines, shooty carnifexes, walking tyrants, and a number of other shooting units that really struggle once they're in combat. Quite often the problem that we have as a Tyranid army is that we don't have enough attacks to get us out of trouble once we're in trouble. Generally, well, not generally, but quite often we're resilient enough when small units try and kind of stop us from shooting. We're not going to die, but we will get shut down from a shooting point of view. And as I've said in previous videos, a lot of the strongest units at the moment are shooting units. So having that ability really helps us out. So I'm excited, and I really think that it's going to buff even more units like exocrines. And as I said, the my Carnifex army feels like it's just got that much stronger. Next up, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the -1. Now, it looks like everything is going to be restricted to a -1 modifier. That's great for Tyranids. We basically, most of the time, just have a -1 anyway. We're never benefiting from -3s, 4s, and whatever the Eldar and other armies could potentially, use. Yes, there are ways that we can make one unit -2, and there are shenanigans I think we can get potentially up to -3 with psychic powers. But on the whole, -1 is kind of what we've got. Doesn't really affect us, which is great. But where it does affect us is when we're shooting things, and majority of the time we can never really get above hitting something on a 3. It means that we're never going to be suffering that much. So our shooting units again really benefit from that. The next thing I want to talk about is terrain. Now, we're not resilient. As an army, Tyranids are not resilient. Our bigger stuff with the toughness 8 is not bad, but on the whole, quite a lot of our troops are 4 up or lower, and against the horrific shooting that is currently in the meta, we die quite quickly. So the ability to have advantages for being in terrain, to be able to use that terrain more effectively, that's really going to help out the army. And it means that your mid to little bugs are not necessarily going to get shot off the board so quickly. They're not necessarily going to have to all be behind line of sight blocking. They're going to be all right. So that really helps that. Things like Gene Stealers, the Swarm Lord, even so many units that we have that if we don't get the first turn or the table of terrain's not favourable, we get shot off the board. This is going to help us out quite significantly. So that's really strong as well. So again, a really big plus. Next, if we do get an opportunity to field our big bugs, the ability then to be able to interact with that terrain is going to be exciting as well. So just having big walking bugs is not necessarily going to be a problem. We're not necessarily going to get hampered by trying to get things out of terrain. So fingers crossed, that's going to be a big bonus for us as well. So loads of things straight away that seem to be really benefiting us. Also, on the whole, we don't ally in anybody else. So yes, Genestealer Cult are a very effective ally for the Tyranids, but quite often we'll just go on our own, and we are a super faction, but not in the same way of a lot of the other codexes. So for us, being able to have all of our CPs to spend on all of our cool stuff is going to be really beneficial for the Tyranids and should make us even stronger. So again, a really positive. The ability to manipulate reserves, well, again, it's great for protecting those bugs, and particularly we've got lots of cheap and cheerful little bugs that we can bring in from all sorts of directions. Can be a really effective tactic. So look, all super exciting things, but what I would say is our big bugs still are not necessarily going to be hugely survivable. The terrain's going to help them a little bit, but unless we have other ways to manipulate and keep them safe, those guys are still potentially going to have a tough time. So we'll have to wait and see whether we get anything around that. Also, they're not necessarily going to hit that much harder. So again, I'm waiting to hear whether we hear anything more, because monsters need to be scarier. And at the moment, they're just not super scary. So we'll see what happens with that as well. And also what we do need to do is we need to see how Marines and Necrons have been landed for 9th edition. Necrons look like they're going to have loads of new toys. Will they be incredibly powerful and too powerful in the current meta until we see further updates? That's going to be interesting. So there's lots of little warning things, and also, of course, the mission will be king. So depending on what those missions are, they will potentially benefit or not be favourable for the Tyranid builds. So we'll have to see how that features out as well. So far, all the things are pointing to a really successful launch for Tyranids, and hopefully an ability definitely to make us be able to interact and be able to compete at high level at a casual side. Because we can 100%, we can build a competitive list now, but it's hard to play. It has a really high skill ceiling, and for newer players it can be very unforgiving. You bring out your big bugs, and a lot of people have already mentioned in my previous videos how completely soul destroying it is when you've got all these cool looking models and they get completely annihilated off the board. It looks a really positive thing, so I'm super excited, and fingers crossed we'll see more stuff that will benefit the Tyranids, and we can come out of the gates with a flash and really compete. So all in all, really good. Let me know what your thoughts are, the things that you think have really given Tyranids a buff, the things that you're most worried about. I'd be really excited to hear. But I will be back with another video. Once we get some more information further down the road, we'll do another review. We'll talk a little bit about it. But hopefully you're enjoying these videos, and you're enjoying the return of Tyranid tactics and Tyranid specific content. I'm enjoying bringing it to you guys, so keep putting those likes, keep putting them comments in. They're the things that definitely make me want to do more and more. So let us know, and if you haven't already, as I said, please do hit that subscribe button. And until the next video, I'm Aceface, and I will see you really soon. Bye for now.